I've studied over 5 hours of DavidT's championship offense here in Madden 26, and I'm breaking it down for you in an easy to follow guide. Let's jump right into it. Alright, so to start it out, DavidT is in the New Orleans Saints offense. That's the playbook that he ended up running and winning the championship with. Okay, so we're going to be breaking down some of his money plays here and his red zone offense because, as Sybil says, you need a power play here, and DavidT certainly has plenty of them. Okay, so the first one, again, Saints playbook, we're going to come into motion PA cross switch. Okay, you guys turn on the tape, you watch DavidT, you're going to see him use this play very often. Alright, so the route combination that DavidT loves so much from this play is putting X on a crosser, putting his tight end on a zig, and then you can really do whatever you want here with George Pickens. In this case, you could put your tight end on a corner route, then you could put Pickens on the zig, and it could look something like this, okay? Now, the reason why this works is because you're going to start by looking to your check down here, George Pickens, and then you're going to progress back up to Ferguson, and then CeeDee Lamb here. It's all about stepping or snapping the ball fast, but we step up in the pocket, and then we're just going to have an easy scramble in. So that's the great thing about this. And you always need to make sure that you're having your bunch on the, or I guess your trio here on the wide side of the field. Gives your receivers more room to run, and then you're able to see, like right there, we're able to hit that on the sideline because we have plenty of space, you know, there to get it off, right? But if we can actually set up some of the other routes on the field here, boom, take the snap again, and then this time we're gonna have our tight end wide open there on the sideline. So really with this play, you're looking for your zig first, then your tight end, and then you're trying to progress back up to your crosser. Is really the third and final read here. If they have a good switch stick, or you see like right here, if their linebackers are super shallow, then you're going to be able to just hit that crosser like DavidT does right here. Alright, so this is another money play that DavidT loves, doubles flex Y off close. Now, he's always going to start in bunch tight in the week and then audible to this play, okay? It is called PA snag. DavidT actually said that he ran an offense similar like this last year. If you watch MCS 25, he was running a lot of this same stuff because it's still good here in this game, okay? So all we're going to do is block our running back, put our tight end on a drag, and be on a shriek here, okay? And the thing that DavidT loves to do is utilize that playmaker, okay? Now, the key thing is he's playing MUT, so he has Master Tactician. If you're going to play MUT, you want to make sure you have Master Tactician ability on your quarterback because it's going to make your playmakers a lot better and a lot sharper here. Right here, I have Dak Prescott, so sometimes my playmakers might not be as good, but you can see, you know, decent. Just, I mean, you just have to basically use the ability so that it's precise and you can playmaker up. Like I said, I'll include some clips, or you can go watch the MCS and you'll see him utilize that playmaker that tight end drag up in the middle of the zone defense here. But here, as far as us, we're stepping up in the pocket and we're going to have our post there wide open on the sideline. What a lot of people are going to do is they're going to try to switch stick to guard the backside post or take away the tight end drag, and so then you're just going to be able to hit it. But boom, you see, and we're just able to hit our tight end drag underneath very often. Pretty hard for them to actually stop those tight end drags unless they're going to shade their coverage down like they do right here. And so if we take the snap, they shade their coverage down, and we're just going to be able to hit that pass on target because that hook zone's coming down. So PA snag, a great play against zone coverage, but I don't even know if DavidT called this against man, but it really doesn't matter because if someone ran man versus him, this would be another great play here. Roll outside the pocket and hit that pass on the run there to Jalen Tolbert. So gives you those two posts, and they actually run at two different depths, so they give you a great opportunity to just hit a pass on target in stride, and bring them in. And obviously you have your tight end drag, which when tight end drags beat man, it makes man coverage literally so impossible to run for them on defense. So this second money play that DavidT loves, PA snag, another great one that you need to start incorporating. Alright, so those first two money plays don't even compare to what I have to show you the rest of the video. So make sure you subscribe so you can start playing like a champion. All right, so our third money play here is going to be from Bunch X Nasty here. No surprise, dig return. Another great play here. So all we're going to do, you can pretty much just snap this ball. You could put B on a streak and snap the ball if you wanted to. You could put RB on a streak, then put B on a crosser, do something like this. You have so many options. But against zone coverage, it's so hard to stop this play again. So DavidT starting in a different formation, bunch tight end weak, and so he's audibling to these other formations here that we're talking about, which makes it very tough for the defense to be able to contend with. So we step up in the pocket, and you're going to see, I mean, shout out to Dak Prescott for throwing the ball to the other team when I have a wide open receiver. But if we go ahead and set up the same route combination, you're going to see you're putting their hook zone in major conflict. This defender right here, Jackson, is the guy that we're trying to put in conflict, okay? If he comes too far down, we're going to throw Jalen Tolbert's crosser. If he drops too far back, we're hitting our zig to George Pickens. So boom, take it, read him, and then you're able to see that time. Shout out to Dak Prescott hitting the pass on the money, and exactly what I'm talking about, where he's too far underneath that route, and so they're able to throw it over his head. If they want to shade their defense over the top or drop their hook zones further back, you're just going to see same thing, dudes dropping so far back, and then boom, you're able to hit that zig. So it's all about reading that defender, especially against cover 2 and cover 3 defenses. But if they go ahead and set up a man coverage based defense here, all I would do against man is I would just leave CD on his end and then put Jalen Tolbert on a crosser. And so now you're able to see they go ahead, go to man coverage here. We're going to have a lot of options. We can have our running back out of the backfield, right? Does a great job beating man coverage. Obviously, random sheds are a thing, unfortunately, in this game, but doesn't really take away from the fact that this is just a great man-beating play, a great man-beating concept. You're also able to see we're going to have that in route over the middle of the field to CD Lamb. Why? Because if they're not going to be pressing, it's very hard for them to be able to keep up with a play that honestly has 4 man-beating routes. And if you really wanted to, you could put your tight end on a return route like this and create 5 man-beating routes. So boom, now you take it, and now you're gonna be able to see Tolbert right there on that crosser, open, create separation. So this play, dig return, another one that DavidT loves because it stresses the entire field in zone coverage, and it's able to beat man. All right, so next up, we're going to be talking about the most critical area of the field, the red zone, and how DavidT went almost flawless in the red zone in this MCS run. All right, so this is DavidT's favorite red zone play here. It's going to be from the gun U off stack formation. Motion PA crossers is the play name. Okay, you could also call it motion PA Y leak. We're going to come into PA crossers, and what makes this so good is this auto motion route against man coverage. Okay, and we're going to talk about it against zone, but look at this. Against man coverage, you put your tight end on drag. I mean, you can set up a good route combo elsewhere. You can put this guy on a zig. But it doesn't even really matter because just watch this tight end route. Guy comes in motion, boom, follows, and then look at how that guy's kind of looking into the backfield a little bit, just on a motion. This isn't an RPO, this is just a standard pass play, and he's not going to get pressed. So even if they press their defense, right, boom, press, I mean, like, it doesn't affect how that tight end's going to get guarded, but there's really nothing that they can even do here. We bring our guy in motion. This is very consistent. I've labbed it. I've watched DavidT do it. It's why he continued to do it even against Astro, and then he caught it against Kobo in the championship. It's very tough. It is very tough to defend here with this out of man coverage, so we call it again. Boom, guys manned up, but defenders just lacking, and it's an easy pass out there, okay? This is way better than a lot of those other motion plays just because of the way that this kind of gets guarded by the defense, okay? We even put them in a cover 3 defense now, okay? And this is, if they're in a zone, that's kind of when you actually want to set up a good route combination behind this, just in case. But boom, we go through it again right here. 2-point conversion play. I mean, just look at how he gets outside of the curl flat because he's already running out there. They just really have they don't have a great chance. The only defense that maybe can stop this is probably like a cover 2 hard flat shaded underneath. But, he caught Astro off guard with this the first time he called it. And then, but once they kind of understand what you're trying to do, it's kind of hard for you to go to it multiple times because they see that tight end come in motion. But really, regardless, that's one of the easiest plays that you can call. 2-point play down inside the 5 to pick up easy conversions. All right, and so the next play is going to be RPO read bubble here. Bunch tight end weak. We know about this play, right? There's a new formation that I talked about in an earlier video this year when this formation came out. But RPO alert bubble, we know about this. It's just, I mean, it's RPO. You're able to set up your blocks, and you're going to be able to walk in free very often. Down in the red zone, you want to be utilizing RPOs here in this game. Whether you're going to hand the ball off or whether you're going to try to throw it outside, score a touchdown just like that, okay? We know about RPOs. We know that's what makes them great. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised that DavidT decided to come out in this formation all the time, because as we know, if I go ahead and call timeout here, we're going to back up and we're going to come into bunch X nasty, but we're going to make sure that this play, RPO read bubbles and our audibles for the bunch tight end weak. We're gonna come into any play for bunch strong nasty, and then we're gonna audible to this RPO read bubble. And so now you're gonna be able to see how when these guys come across the formation, throws the defense off, and so we're just gonna throw it out there. You being able to audible formations from one formation to the other with this ensures, or it makes it very tough for them to get their slot corner on the right side of this play, right? And that's a key part of playing offense, is, you know, not allowing them to get their alignment correct on defense. So boom, you can see how pretty much all these guys over here are safeties, and so we have the huge numbers advantage. All of them are looking over towards that side, the inside, to stop the run, and so then we're able to throw that RPO bubble out there. DavidT really loved this play. He even was calling this play RPO read bubble, not even down in the red zone, but just in the middle of the field, because it's so tough to defend. You see all these dudes are looking, and then it's just an easy walk in. So start using RPO read bubble. There's a ton of other RPOs here. Just very quickly, we'll go back into the Saints playbook. DavidT actually didn't run heavy Saint, but I would say that if you're running this playbook, heavy Saint, QB power, QB blast, you also look at some other formations here. You come into Y off trips nasty. We obviously know about the RPO read Y flat. And then even you come into bunch tight end week, you also have duo run. So DavidT didn't even call all the possible plays that he could have. He actually did score a touchdown with duo right here, as you'll see on the screen. But so much in this Saints offense, and that's DavidT's championship O. All right, now you can score on offense every single drive because you have DavidT's championship offense. But if you're still struggling on defense, make sure you click this video right here where I show you how to play lockdown defense from the new 4-3 tight Leo formation. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.